There's an Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10-4-6, was enacted to ensure the right to public have advance notice to attend the meeting of the public bodies in which business affecting its interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with provisions of the Acts of Lakewood Board of Fire Commissioners, Fire District Number 1, has caused notices meetings published, having the date, time, place, and agenda known. Therefore, posted as follows: the Asbury Park Press, January 6, 2017; Asbury Park Press, June 19, 2017; Asbury Park Press, July 7, 2017; Asbury Park Press, September 28, 2017; Brick Times, January 14, 2017. It was also sent to Brick Times for informational purposes on June 15, 2017, July 7th, and September 26th. It was filed written notice with the Township Clerk, January 4th, 2017, June 15, 2017, and July 5th, 2017, as well as September 2017. It was posted on official Township bulletin board, as well as on the district website. Roll call: Commissioner Cohen?
Here.
Commissioner Lieber? Here. Commissioner Rod here. Lastly.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the minutes of the September 11th regular meeting.
Motion.
Second motion. Cohen?
Yes.
Lieber?
Yes.
Murray, yes. Page 2.
It's on the back.
I'm going to open the floor to the public. Members of the public, we'll be looking for 4 minutes.
Yeah, this is you talking about now number
Just say your
5.
name for the record, please.
Shloime Klein.
Thank you.
Is this now number 5? It says public participation agenda items only.
Yes.
Correct.
So if it's not on the agenda, I cannot speak, because usually public portion means that the public could, in usually meetings, maybe fire commissioners has different rules. But let's say when there's a township meeting or even a planning board meeting, there is a public portion that you could speak, even non-agenda items.
No, we have it on the other side.
Could you be as a typo?
It is, there should be one more on the other side also.
There should be a,
We want to give the public 2 opportunities, one to speak on agenda items, and
Let's
we
do
will
that.
put it in here tonight, on the other side, right after, the auditor's report. You can speak on any fire service related matter.
So should I speak now or should I wait then? Even though I can speak now.
Do you want to talk on the?
I only have one time to talk, so if you would just let me talk now.
go for it.
What?
Go for it.
Okay, yesterday there was a master plan approved, thousands of new homes. Most of them are duplexes, townhomes. Now, my question is, it's a twofold question. First of all, is the fire department equipped to deal with such a mass of amount of new homes? It's about almost 11,000 new homes. Second is, are they equipped to deal with a townhome type of environment? You need different equipment for that. And if you don't have the equipment, and my question would be is, how much money will the fire department need to get this equipment in place? This is just, and I'm mentioning this, I just want to get an honest answer. I'm just putting on the record that one of the most people that I was trying to get, one of the biggest developers that were trying to get this thing done is Sol Mizrahi. This is Mr. Mizrahi's brother. Not that he's not going to give me an honest answer, I just want to ask him, or the commissioners, to please try to give me a most not biased answer, as for the public's sake, to know that if you guys are equipped, and how much money will it cost to be equipped to deal with such a mass thing. Because it was very troublesome to me that the Lakewood Fire Department did not give any input as far as the needs of the fire department, as improving the fire department machinery and whatever they need, and especially in that side of town. One more small thing, I'll leave it in the public motion, is every township meeting in this town that is open to the public, talking Board of Ed, Township Committee, Planning Board, Zoning Board, soon it will be in any other boards, is video record for the public to be live streamed. The only place where it's not live streamed or there's any videos taken of the meetings is this Lakewood Fire Commission. Could be as just you guys didn't update to the new age, or could be it's intentionally you're trying to keep the meetings hidden as much as you could allowed by law. So the second question will be about that, if there's any plan in the future to have these meetings live stream or video record for the public to see. Thank you.
I'll answer your first question. I have no involvement in any of my brother's dealings with any construction. Second thing is we have not had any input or anything as far as this master plan goes. So I can't speak on details of what's being built and what's being planned. What I can say is that we try as a fire department, and the chief can speak further on this if you'd like, is that we try to prepare ourselves for whatever may happen and wherever may happen. We do have many townhomes in town, and we do have townhome fires, and we are equipped to handle, and we are constantly changing with the times, but as far as equipment wise, we have plenty of equipment and we are equipped to handle fires, and that's what we are faced with doing. As far as your second question with the meeting going live, I'm unaware that the township even has such a thing, and it's something that we can definitely look into in the future. I mean, we have in no way tried to hide these meetings from the public. Everybody's welcome to come here, our members of the public here today, and it's advertised as such, and nobody's prohibited from coming to the meeting in any way or form.
Thank you.
And meeting minutes are all posted online. What's discussed here is reflected in the minutes.
I want to add on the first topic also. We do whatever we have to do to be prepared to protect this town. The town has been growing by leaps and bounds as it is, and we've been struggling and trying to build the department as fast as we can to adequately protect the town from fire. We also, when we plan, we're always planning a couple of years ahead to buy new apparatus or to buy new equipment, as you said, that's necessary. And that's why it's so important to have everybody's support when we do put a budget together and do put in to buy new equipment or to spend more money to protect the town, to have the public support to be able to help us help them.
You or your child?
Name for the record.
Yeah, Moshe, the Zionist, 112 Elmhurst Boulevard, Lakewood, New Jersey, 08701. First of all, I note that on the agenda there's an SOG somewhere over here regarding the application approval process for membership to the Lakewood Fire Department. I know it's not a simple and quick job to get this SOG done. It was on the table for a couple months. I know the whole team worked on it, so I appreciate the efforts of the whole team working together on this important task. So thank you for that. I have two suggestions. I'll talk fast because I know there's a time limit. One is I'd like to suggest that the board make a resolve now before the elections that if there should be a need to meet with the Ocean County Board of Elections in order to alleviate the issue that came up in the past, to appoint one member or appoint the attorney to say you are hereby authorized to represent us, because if one member goes to the board, to the Ocean County Board of Elections, and says, I am fire commissioner, other people could think that he's there as if he's representing the district. In order to just resolve that beforehand, because I know the next meeting you're going to have is for the rest of the elections, in case there is an election contest. That's just my suggestion. I would also suggest that in February you do the same thing. Yeah. The other thing, which is really a longer topic, but I'll just talk fast. I'd like to suggest an SOG. This would really involve the whole team working together. To guide the firefighters to the appropriate times to call the Lakewood Inspection Department to investigate a fire scene. I work for a school. I had many interactions with the Lakewood Inspection Department. I heard from other schools, I've heard from contractors. In short, what I'm hearing, I'll tell you, I'm hearing this from both contractors and schools. Someone told me, I was in a building just the other night, and he told me, you're gonna spend some time here. If the fire department comes, first thing is you lock the doors. Second thing is you hide this and that, and then you open the door. I'm telling you, I'm getting fire reports, I'm speaking to your fire captains. It is sounding absurd that people are making it as if you guys are the bad guys, even though that's not the case. I've spoken to several firefighters. I've heard 7 different answers to when we call the inspection department. I know the inspection department should be called at times. I just think it's not always so clear, so I'm suggesting this as an SOG that I think would, I thank the entire district for your continued great work. Thank you.
Your feedback. No further from the public? Approval of requisitions. Alright, requisitions here, for purchase 4 down, mobile radios and fire police, Pentonia flashlight holders, fire police, rain gear with parka jackets for fire police, and fire turn-on gear bags for fire police. Fire police have been not really receiving that much equipment. We got a bunch of new guys that came on, and we have more guys coming on, and they should be equipped with the right stuff to safely, protect us, as well as themselves. Motion for that?
Motion.
Second.
That says roll call. Just wanted to say that the total amount for everything was $8,061.10. Roll call, Commissioner Cohen?
Yes.
Weaver? Yes. Yes. Okay. Vouchers and bills?
You emailed everyone just earlier today.
Motion to accept the vouchers and bills as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Commissioner Cohen?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Correspondence, Mr.
Yes, we received a copy of an order from Judge Wellerson, which fixes the compensation to the board for the easement, as well as a small grant of property for the County Line Road widening and improvements. The order is dated October 12th. I received correspondence from the attorney subsequent to that, and they indicated that the check would be cut in 4 to 6 weeks.
What was the total amount for that? This was for that piece of property that
$12,350.
they laid out for the widening the road. Easement, okay. Fire chief's report. Go ahead, chief.
Good evening, guys. As you just heard, the fire police are getting a new safety gear finally, so thank you very much for that. And they're greatly appreciating that. They're electing officers at the end of this month, so they'll have a new turnover of officers there, and hopefully soon they'll be on their own. They have 2 fire members. 2 members are in fire police school this week. They'll be graduating that on Sunday, so all the fire police members that are current are certified now. They'll be certified by the end of the week. We'll have a department drill on November 15th at Station 68. It's going to be lockout, tagout. It's going to be the topic of the night. We've had numerous attendees at Ocean and Monmouth Academies this fall. A lot of different classes everybody's going to, and that's great. Thank you for the support for that. There's a seminar coming up. I'm going to offer it to the membership. It's tower ladder operations and placement. It's going to be All Hands Fire Training Center in February. You guys have that in your packet, so it's cheap. I'm going to open it to everybody, not just ladder guys. This way everybody can help the ladder truck set up on scene safely. And we're having the annual Woodlawn Cemetery leaf cleanup. This year is December 10th. They wanted to do it December 3rd, but with other things scheduled for that day, we moved it to December 10th. So hopefully you get to see everybody out there and help do this great cause. And that's it. Thank you for the support.
Okay, just a few things that, as chiefs, we've gone over to, form of consolidation. We have looked at moving the officers' portables, put them back on the trucks. It's based on a good recommendation. That way that it cuts back on spending, at least for the time being. So the fire officers' portables will be put back on the trucks, and they'll be able to be used more efficiently. We're in the process of working on how the department is going to answer calls more efficiently, coming with changes in the near future. The gear dryer, as you noticed, was delivered. It's waiting on installation. That way we can move forward with gear washing on a cycle. We're working on a plan for all scheduled events for the 2018 calendar year now. We're also working on the department training calendar for 2018 now. The most important part would be the location of apparatus for the near future and for the future, including the ladder truck, and making that a little more open to a department vehicle rather than an individual company vehicle. So in the near future, we're going to look for more truck work, ladder training, that kind of stuff. The Sophie Lane fire, we had a lot of mutual aid from all the way down to Island Heights to Point Pleasant. I believe even Howell Township, Manchester, I think was even in the town. The second fire we had at the same time covered all entirely by mutual aid. The DPW on their own sent their second shift supervisor to bring garbage cans, to bring anything that we needed, even if it was a bulldozer to knock down the building, which we didn't need, thank goodness. I sent out letters to multiple organizations, most importantly the Oak Street School, who helped the department in gaining donations for hurricane relief to Puerto Rico. So that's all I have. Unless anybody has any questions for me.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you.
Just want to recognize good job, Sophie Lane. It was a hectic day and excellent job by all. All right. Mr. Administrator report.
Okay, we had approved the new hydrant installation on Squonkin and Apollo Road. Our Oak Street hydrants are making progress. We have 2 installed so far, and the rest to be forthcoming. We have 2 SOGs tonight for the board approval. One is the application process. The other is the station apparatus staffing and leave. And the last item is the psychological examinations for career personnel. My suggestion is to go with Institute for Forensic Psychology. They're based out of Oakland, New Jersey. They have a lot of experience with public safety, police, fire, EMS. And they will be able to do these to our candidates in Ocean County. They have a satellite office in, I believe, it's on the border of Britain, Tom's River. The cost would be $450 per applicant. We would only send the applicants that pass the previous stages. So hopefully we will only be sending 4 applicants to the psychological.
Administrator Clerk.
Includes building and apparatus for our emails, everyone. I have a copy.
Okay. All right, study committees. Insurance Committee. Health benefits.
I can speak to that. The board at the end of the last meeting approved the change in our health insurance provider to go to the state health program, contingent upon a collective bargaining agreement being ratified both by the board as well as the local. The local has ratified a collective bargaining agreement, so the board, if it ratifies the agreement tonight, will be following through with the resolution that they passed and make applications to the state health benefit program. There will be a substantial savings to the board by moving to the state health benefit program. The savings will have no or very little impact, if any, on the personnel. So it was part of our negotiations in that agreement, and the union has agreed to accept the change.
Okay.
Just for the board's information, we're going to try to make that change January 1.
We got some closed session stuff we'll discuss later.
Yes.
Anything on old business, new business? First thing on the business, we have a resolution authorizing the creation of the paid position of fire lieutenant at a first level as well as a second level supervisor. This will be the second reading.
Okay, as the board recalls, back at their last regular meeting, they created the paid positions of first lieutenant, first level, as well as fire captain, second level supervisors. The reason being is we were looking forward as to how we were going to move the fire department along with its career as well as its volunteer firefighters. We had discussed during the collective bargaining sessions the increase of leadership in the supervisory positions. We do have one fire captain now, and what we want to do is create, in accordance with changes in civil service titles, the two positions that we will be looking to create. One is for the fire lieutenant first level. We're going to anticipate the placement of three of our present firefighters into that position, and a fire captain second level supervisor. We already have fire captain. The position that was recommended by civil service after we met with them was fire captain second level supervisor. If the board passes this on second reading tonight, it'll be published in the board's official newspaper, and the positions will be created. We'll notify civil service, and we can make appointments into those positions.
Any motion on that?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Commissioner Cohen?
Yes.
Believer?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Again, meeting with civil service, the fire district administrator, and myself, had discussions moving forward with regards to the administrative positions within the district. It was recommended that we make an application to create the positions of deputy fire district administrator as well as the position of clerk. So we're gonna pass the resolution creating the paid position of clerk at this evening's meeting on first reading. That will be a 40-hour position. We have not set a salary on that. It's just creating the position. With regards to the other position of deputy fire district administrator, the fire district administrator and myself are looking into that, and we're going to be sending communications to civil service making that request. The board needs to move the resolution creating the paid position.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Cullen?
Yes.
Mr. Zupa?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Third thing, new business? We have a 1987 Honda that we recently replaced with one of our other apparatus that's no longer serving Township of Lakewood. It's in okay shape, except for its age, and it's got some issues, but the county that trains our guys is running equipment that's older than that, and worse shape than that, so they've asked us for it. We need a resolution. We're gonna donate them. If we were to sell it, it wouldn't be worth much, so we'll go to much better use, training our new guys at the academy. And so we need a resolution to
Move it.
donate that.
Second motion.
Roll call, Mr. Cullen?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Army, yes, okay.
Okay, with regards to the next resolution, I can speak to that now. I don't believe there's any issues that the board would have to discuss. I can speak to it right now if the board would like, or we can go into closed sessions to discuss any of the finer points. What would the board like to do?
Well, correct.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
We've negotiated with the FMBA local to put together a new contract. The old contract expired December 31, 2015. We've been working with the union to try and look to the future for fire service within the township. We had several objectives. One of our objectives was to increase our career personnel. The proposed collective bargaining agreement does increase the career personnel to 4 new career firefighters. That being said, we've also changed the number of crews that we're going to have on, and that will be 4 separate crews. What this does, it permits us to provide more effective service, because our firefighters will not be on duty one right after another, sometimes back to back. It allows for a 72-hour program. This means that our firefighters will be on 24 hours off 72 hours. The new 4-crew 24/72 program will allow us to eliminate the in-tour overtime that we were paying, as well as a lot of the other overtime that came about as a result of vacation, sick time, when we'd have to fill in with part-time or career full-time personnel at time and a half. In conjunction with the change in that schedule, we also developed an SOG with regards to leaves and when they had to be requested, and the process by which we would go through to again eliminate the necessity of extensive overtime. With this in place, we feel that the board can eliminate the vast majority of the overtime. We're looking with probably about a 90% elimination of overtime, while at the same time providing more effective fire service to the township, as well as safer fire protection to the township and the safety of our personnel. We are going to strive to keep a 4-man target of staffing. This may not be possible at all times. The contract provides for a minimum 3-man staffing. This will again allow us to eliminate the overtime position. We also extended what is called the work period from 7 days to 28 days, and that allows for the elimination of the in-tour overtime, which we were paying on the 7-day work period. The work period is different than the normal work week. We still have a 7-day work week. We have changed the date that the firefighters will be getting paid. That will occur every 2 weeks as opposed to the previous practice that we've had. That's about all of the substantive aspect of the program. We did have the district auditor take a look at the finances with regards to this collective bargaining agreement, by the way, which goes out through December 31 of 2022. So we have 5 years that the contract will include. We projected the 4 new firefighters along with the increases in the steps as well as the annual increase to the district auditor. While I'm talking to you, we did 2 things with the salary guides. We have 2 separate salary guides. Those for present firefighters, which is an 11-step salary guide up from 7 steps. This allows for the firefighters to work through the salary guide at a slower pace than what it was before. The second salary guide is for all new hires, and that salary guide is 13 steps, which again allows a little more flexibility with regards to the board and management of its funds. But if the board doesn't have any questions of me, they can hear from the district auditor, Mr. Bauer.
Yes, I've been working with Jay back and forth on this contract now for a few weeks with all the changes. I did verify all the 5 years calculations that were finally calculated by the Green's attorney. They're all accurate. I did project all the years out, and I did a projection for this 2018 with all the lieutenants added, the captain's salary, and the additional holiday, and it's still within the budget we presently have. I will be moving a lot of the expenses from overtime into regular salary, but we should be fine in what we have budgeted for currently. And even with the additional help, the new program for the state health benefits plan.
So essentially, we're hiring 4 new firefighters, we're making promotions, and this is all coming at a cost savings to the
Yes,
district.
we're coming out ahead.
How much ahead? Is it
I
close or?
don't have the exact with the new health benefits plans, but
And before I make a motion, I just want to take a minute really to thank our attorney, Jay, and our auditor Skip. Everybody really, it's been a 2-year process. It's incredible how much work went into it. The FMBA, Jimmy's been truly patient and made this happen. Vinny and Chairman Mizrahi, it's really been. I can't believe we're actually here after all this work, but we're here. So I'll make a motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement.
Second motion.
Roll call, Commissioner Cohen.
Yes.
Commissioner Lieber.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Right. Motion to authorize physiological examinations, career applications for firefighter. The career applicants that we have, as we said earlier, we're gonna be sending them for
Psychological.
psychological.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Commissioner Cohen.
Yes.
Lieber.
Yes.
All right, we need a motion to approve. We have 2 SOGs on the table tonight, application process, as well as the station apparatus staff leaving, which is for the staff, how they're gonna be staffing and when they're allowed to take off.
Need a motion, please, someone second it?
Yep. Motion first, the application process.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Commissioner Cohen.
Can I
Yes.
say something first? The station apparatus staffing and labor policy is one that we discussed under the collective bargaining agreement. This one will be brought back to you again once we sit down with the local and move on to another area, which is commonly known as swaps or duty changes, okay?
So
It'll be
again,
brought back to you at a later date.
It'll come with no cost to the district when when guys are taking off. So
That's correct.
You know, shifts, it'll be a cost savings to us and plus the tanks all the overtime. So with this contract, there's a lot of cost savings that were involved, and all the parties came out happy, and I think we're all moving forward in the right direction.
I don't think we had a roll call on the first
Yep.
application process.
Application process, roll call, Commissioner Quinlan?
Yes.
Deeper?
Yes.
Alright, yes.
I did, yes.
I need a, motion on station apparatus staffing and living.
Motion?
Second motion?
Roll call, Commissioner Cohen?
Yes.
Lieber?
Yes.
Yes. Alright, we spoke about the easement already,
Yes, we spoke about the easement.
and the commissioner's election.
Yes, on November 7th, from 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., there's going to be a rerun election for the 3-year term for commissioners. Denise Gregory as well as Larry Leutman are the two candidates. The public will be asked to vote on one of those for the 3-year term. That will be part of the general election. The voters will vote to their normal polling places and not to the municipal building where they normally vote for the fire district election.
Okay. Orders report? Everything's good? Oh. What was that?
I went over it.
Alright, so we're good. We have nothing on the orders report. We're gonna open a public portion now. If anybody from the public would like to speak, give them 4 minutes.
Speak again.
If you wanna speak,
Gewaldig.
please state your name on the record.
Shloime Klein. Now I want to speak something on the agenda.
Go for it.
I understand, if I understood correctly, the elections is going to be taking place with a general election and not like over here.
Wherever your polling place is, your vote in November, that's where you're gonna go vote. It'll be on the regular ballot.
So my
Special
question,
question.
yeah, so my question is, when in the past I saw that when you have like a meeting the whole day, it's like open, and you have like a ballot box over here, and people come in and vote over here. Who controls that type? Usually you have extra clerks sitting there by the regular elections. I wonder who is in control of the election when it comes in, when there's an election just for fire commissioner. And the second question that I have in that, there was a debate that I had with the regular election commission about recording the elections. We were going back and forth with that. But the question is over here it's a little bit more complicated, the question, because you have a meeting while the election is taking place in the same room. So what is the story with recording that? I know it's not a valid question on this election, but it's going to come up in the future. Like if somebody wants to record a meeting and sit out the whole time because it's an open meeting, in the same time there's election. If there's any clarification on that.
Let me answer that question to you. The meeting election is not really an election. What it is a special meeting under the statute. We open and close that meeting. That is under the control of our board clerk. He opens the meeting at 2 p.m. The meeting will then be turned into a referendum by the public to see whether or not we're permitted to put certain capital projects into our following year's budget. Okay, that is a meeting that will go on until 9 o'clock or later. And it's normally later because of the fact that we have to tally the votes and announce the results. So the meeting will probably carry on until 9:30, quarter to 10. But that's what that is a meeting. It's not an election per se. It's a meeting to ask the voters if we're permitted to put certain things into the budget.
Which then the budget has to still get voted on and approved at the election.
At the election.
At the February election.
Two-step process.
I'm sorry if I'm over my minute, but I think or I don't understand the answer, or somebody didn't understand my question. My question is, while the election takes in place in this room, and
Yes.
the special election just for fire commissioner, it's usually on a Saturday.
Doesn't take
The-
place here.
That's
No,
not
it
here.
doesn't.
That doesn't take place
It
here.
doesn't take place here, it takes place down in municipal building.
That's
Oh,
run by the
it
county.
is in the municipal building.
Yes.
Correct, that's
So,
run by the county.
why do I remember having an election in this room that was just for the budget?
That was to put certain capital items into.
I
the
got
budget.
you, I got
Then
you. So
it's-
I didn't understand it
And
right.
then- yes, and then what we have to do is though, once we put it into the budget.
I got
then
you.
in February, they get an opportunity to
That-
vote on the budget.
That is the regular budget meeting that you have, the budget election, and people come and vote.
That's correct.
And the question is, if that meeting, when people come, could be recorded without going into debate, if you could, oh, he's saying is that is not a regular election that has the election rules, that is a special budget election, so it's a totally different.
No, that has certain rules that are guided by the county, certain rules that are under statute. It's not a public meeting, it's a general election. We'd have to take a look into the question as to whether or not it could be recorded.
Okay.
Some people may take it as an offense and not come and vote because they see a camera there. There's a variety of different things the board would have to take into consideration. And one of those things I would have to be guided by what the county's position is with regards to that, and what the township's position is with regards to that.
Okay,
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, most of
Thank
the
you.
time, this one, 2 Elmhurst Boulevard, they can review it 7-1. First of all, thank you for opening the meeting the second time. That was one of my suggestions from 2 months ago when I ran out of time. So you thought of it. Great minds think alike. Just on item 1, on new business, just wanted to clarify regarding the creation of the paid positions. I understand that we'll have to go to the civil service thing. May I just one quick question. When the civil service, makes an exam, I think that's open to people from all over, or it's only our current Lakewood career guys?
Okay, the township has an ordinance. Okay, are you talking about the career position? or
Oh,
you're
yeah, the
talking
career,
about-
none about the clerk,
The
yeah.
career, that's only
For our current
the
firefighters.
career firefighters that we have.
Oh, yeah, and about the clerk?
Yeah, that's a position,
The
that.
township has an ordinance.
The
that
township
has to
has
be
an
elected.
ordinance which says that they have to be a township resident when they enter the position, number one, and number two is they have to be a township resident when they, are hired.
Fine, thank you.
Chairman's report, I don't have anything. The next workshop meeting is gonna be December 7th at 7 PM, regular meeting at 7:15 PM. Can you go close anyway?
No,
It's not gonna be a closed session since we already approved the negotiations. We wanna go close that.
no, we'll do it another time.
All right.
We have time constraints.
I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Close session.
Mr. Stone,
Yes.
Lieber.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all.